he doesn't die from what they initiate with Dragon Knight, the stun, I suppose. I'm not sure that helped.
Same time, a player like, I mean, obviously you should know that.
I know that it's possible, you know that it's possible, but just the mechanics of you being able to get out of something that is already there.
Well, thinking now, I feel very strong on that. New items. Link now available for Super Well, like, still want to contest this. They're split up, it's got it out yet.
They have Echo Slam.
I don't know if what the taking him out is going to be important. He can be put from the range to the chain scheme, is not going to do too much, it's holding him in place. Not going to go for the supporting backline. Not yeah. Echo Slam job for the clock, but Vincent wants to stay alive. Yeah. Boy comes back in, time delay, but that's really cool. Yes, offer at the moment. Clock drop, very little. Assault, still, it's likely not gonna fall, so 2 for. That's not fine at all. 4 for 2. Well, I guess that leads to stop Roshan.
Yeah, but now what? I mean, they didn't have Chrono there. They might take another Roach. No Earthshaker ult.
Yo, coming in. So now.
They should try to make try to defend it.
Oh, CTY is just stuck.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
He's not
attack.
Anyway, Roshan had been taken by LFY, even decided not to test it.
Got it.
LFY. The E is available.
CTY needs that defensive line. Once he gets a big key, he will be able to jump in the front lines and actually deal the damage. Because of the build event, he is afraid going there, jumping, if the Chrono is not ready.
Why is beyond the one to the split thought was in.
If you look at the farm on Phantom Lancer and the Void, they have the same amount of farm pretty much, but Phantom Lancer seems so much scarier.
Nice awareness from EDC here, topping that sentry, really catching him. But yeah, I told him, oh, super, almost find CTY by quickly tested it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But yeah, when you said, no, I agree with you. Yeah, they're similar in the point, just doesn't feel impressive.
Radiant's middle tower is
Especially
under
since
attack.
Battlefield.
I don't remember seeing the Ace Sword with SFY ever.
Roll into the I know why. That ult just misses. HYM with really bad ultimate. And now, looks like they're gonna the A and the shit. I think this is possible. Why is this super? This is super. How CTY has been kept with the silent sub still. Has the time to jump out. Has the approach still available if he wants to, but of course, doesn't have a lot of HP to play around. But now it's 2-1 They still lose the tower.
We still didn't see any Chronos.
A good one. We saw we had that one when he
yeah,
catches the
we
puck
saw it and nothing happened.
Getting caught out here, constantly careful because he's not available there. There's no mana on Old Chicken anymore. And he's dead. Now Faith Beyond just avoids getting Nightmare. Once again, Old Chicken is getting caught out of that. That just shouldn't happen. I don't think. I mean, I say that, you know, it's a little bit unfortunate for him, but just in general, they're just using heroes way too easily. Mid lane, AA blast, gonna connect, should be a kill for them. Looks like the Beach Scope is gonna turn it around. Well, there's Kronos here onto 2, getting a kill onto the bait, and now they want to kill the first script. Puck, Dream Hawk gonna cancel the first attack, still gonna get killed. Now build silence, and now first chick is gonna fall as well, so 2 for 2 trade, and that's 2 supports for 2 cores. Dragon Form is available, so if they want to, they can go higher on. Potentially survivor for CTY. It's the only one that has it.
Earthshaker also didn't see any big Earthshaker ultis at all, especially on Phantom Lance. Earthshaker was mostly using it on heroes 1 versus 1, trying to find the solo pick-off. Yeah, it's not really effective.
I saw that one that was pretty huge, but they only killed first.
Yeah,
they hit him and
yeah, that was effective.
Looks like they're going to take the racks from free. CTY going to keep or hold on to the buyback. You wouldn't change anything. But the good news for EHOME is still have that sort of one more problem. They have a lot of AGV control, so a line of players always have the ability to sort of win the fight off of superior timing and position coordination.
Yada. You said you don't know anything about the shows, TV shows. You know yada. You don't know where it's from?
No.
Seinfeld?
How did he know all of that? Was Seinfeld big in Croatia? Like,
yeah,
at
the time, but I think Seinfeld is one of the most entertaining and funniest shows
it's
ever.
one of the more popular shows.
Yeah.
How old are you?
21?
Look at me?
No.
I don't know.
Why not? I can... From 18 to 30, with 21.
Dire's bottom shrine is under attack.
The thing is though, if you keep have to show your purchases.
The side shop. You need to show the ID.
Yes.
I want to buy power threads. Sir, I need to show you. You need to show me your ID.
High level enough to buy it.
Radiant's top tower is under
Radiant's
attack.
top tower is under
But
Wait, how old are you? Look old. Look, I answered this already.
I look old.
Nah, I think you look like you're 27. 28.
I'm 30.
What?
Yeah,
Ask this question.
I'm old. Let's focus on a little bit. Depends on the item. Spot has enough gold for a link dagger. That changes things a lot, especially against the void. I mean, like change things a lot. Even more advantage for LFY.
Did you just say puck has no?
Hacks. I didn't sleep for almost 24 hours now.
Well, puck has the heck. Doesn't. Maybe it hasn't. Oh, yeah.
Dire's
Probably
top
gonna be the
tower
last
is
fight.
under attack.
If EHOME doesn't win this is probably gonna be another 7 racks here. Question is, can Void maybe find a backstab here? He's scoped up. Gonna jump in. Nobody in the crowd. Actually, he does hit the deep approach at the end there. I think he blinks in. Beat him on the Void. Doesn't really do too much. Now the chase is on. Question is though, they hit really. What?
No one died?
Oh, I mean, Tusk is very low, but he's not dying. Hey, alright, he's gonna be the first target. Come on, hey. Oh, he's gonna die right in the middle. Got that no rhythm. He's gonna be the next victim here. And
It's a game.
Shaker. The back lane. I was really confused there, man. That Chrono Shield looked like it hit nobody, but then I realized that
It's lucky in the face shift.
well, but then also he hit I mean, definitely.
He was flying over the chronosphere.
Whatever.
He's a dragon.
Whatever.
It doesn't matter in the end.
In the end,
place. Mid will be able to get the... My Siri is talking to me, my bad. Abed looks like he's gonna just walk mid and have Ohio block for him.
Yeah, so Ohio is blocking mid. It's DJ blocking the off.
Yep.
The Jet is going to have to a bit of pressure, but looks like Sand King going to be A-okay.
So I really like the fact that they blocked the pole camp. As a Visage, you really actually
Ohio doing quite well on the bottom side of the map. I was keeping an eye on him, but it looks like those shard blocks and getting the nice wave position right from the very start has worked wonders for him. And the Sand King, oh, gonna come down bottom. They're gonna get the lift back. Ohio in some trouble, gonna try and stick amongst his creeps. But I think they might be going down here, still doing plenty of damage. First strike coming in, there's the rocket barrage, and no chance to escape. First blood drawn by AGV. That was such a nice rotation. Like chasing forward before the TP even started, and then setting up.
Yeah, and good patience too, because I think a lot of players would have burrow strike immediately, and then I think Pitlord just poured away after eating the burrow.
Yeah, that was definitely his plan. He wanted to tank the burrow strike in the creep wave, have the rocket barrage do basically no damage, and then just TP. But was not given that opportunity. So Sand King now heading over towards mid. Looks like he's hoping to maybe find the courier, but they're onto him. So courier's just gonna chill out, it looks like, for maybe the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna send the courier until they see the Sand King, because this ward did see the Sand King now hasting back in.
Now. Okay, so Envy's doing well in CS. Mid lane actually going quite well for Abed, but he is eating a lot of daggers in the process. 2 nulls are already picked up for the Quap. I'm interested to see what kind of build he goes for here. I have seen people still going for relatively high points in toss, just kind of for the harassment and wave push, but the tree grab is also very popular and does help you farm a little bit more overall, so we'll see what he goes for.
I think he probably needs to max up tree grab. No, I say that he's gonna go for toss. The reason that I think toss is gonna be
well, action down bottom. Ohio may be a little bit of trouble. Ooh, the immediate snowball out of the lift, but they should still have the burst strike. It catches onto both. Rocket barrage cooling down. DJ and Ohio going to split this as best they can. They've all got the creep wave coming up. Ice shards there. DJ not able to pull himself around the corner, and Grims, oh, not going to get right click down. Ohio looks like he might also end up falling here. A couple more auto attacks going to do it. And AGV now with a 3-kill advantage in the early game.
Yeah.
And DJ just spamming OKs.
I feel him. You know, he wanted to go for the shards. Normally he's very good at hitting the perfect shards, but they mess up there, unfortunately for him.
Up cliffs, down cliffs, or just wherever you need it. Alright. Quap not picking up extra regen, does get forced back, it looks like, just between the toss harassment and the tree throw. So actually Tiny gonna start taking over this lane perhaps a little bit. 4-minute rune is up top, it's just an illusion unfortunately. Something like the regen could have tipped this lane even further in his favor. Despite the kill deficit, they are leading on CS in all 3 lanes. In fact, the Underlord even has more CS than the Gyrocopter at the moment. Looks like Cirque is maybe struggling to CS under the tower somewhat, just getting forced in all the time by the Firestorm.
That's the atrophy aura for you, man. Like, he walks in and just mess you up pretty bad. DJ going for a pull?
Yeah, he just wants to steal the wave, I think. Like, look, I'm the offlaner. Give me this creep wave. River can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, he can't punish it.
Yeah, it's really tough. Well, especially with that new, with Fada's new tech, with the just deny the range creep. using their wave. That's some disgusting stuff, honestly.
Top lane.
Action up top. They are going onto the Monkey King. Envy trying to heal up here. One more stack. He's got the Bound Strike as well. There's the heal. Couple more hits. He's still surviving. Pilot die with another Soul Assumption. Envy dropping low. Can he make his way out of here? He doesn't have the tree jump. Oh, the Purification's not going to actually end up connecting. And Envy might just be able to walk this off. There's the Grave Chill. And Envy is going to be A-okay. It looks like no salve. He's just going to have to tango his way back up. But they do get themselves the board, and he's actually just going to be TPing over the shrine.
Remember the last patch? They nerfed Purification by like 50 cast range, or was it 25 AoE or whatever it was?
Something like that.
Yeah. That would have been a
save
kill.
Envy's life there. Yeah. Well, meanwhile, mid lane, straight up solo kill from Abed. Oh, that is not a good look. See, I think this is why the toss harassment just adds up so much on the Queen of Pain.
Yeah,
like 8 seconds
exactly why he got the. I mean, you see Queen of Pain having a bottle there. That's I think not even the normal build anymore. Like mid players don't go bottle as much, but he's under so much duress from the toss harass that he's going for the bottle and still dying. That's really unfortunate for him.
And, oh, Gyrocopter quite low here. DJ. There's the Ice Shard, then an Arcane Rune in his pocket. But I guess he's not really going to be able to do anything. Sand King up top does have his Tranquil Boots completed. Wants to try and make something happen, but Omni's still only level 4, so lacking that little bit of extra burst damage that they would get from the 3rd point up in the Purification. And he's going to show himself just to apply some pressure, but that should mean that the other lanes are able to play a bit more aggressively, knowing where the Sand King is at the moment.
So, a relatively passive laning stage, but I think the big winner for me is Abed on the mid lane. I mean, we just saw the solo kill, but you pick Queen of Pain to dominate Tiny for the first 10 minutes, and the fact that she's not dominating is a huge problem for not only Tiny being big, but also Queen of Pain is really going to be lackluster during the mid game. She's a lane dominating hero that isn't dominating a lane. She needs Veil on a good timing.
Yeah, more action up top. 3 stacks on the Omni Knight. He has to stay in the trees for now. Sand King, no burst strike. Soul Assumption comes out. One more touch is going to do it. Omni now manning up. Doesn't have the stacks in him anymore, but Envy just healing up with the Jingu. At the same time, DJ looks like he was brought down over at bottom. Oh, blink away. To find that one, and Ohio actually was close to leading on the CS there, but looks like Gyro clearing up a good stack, and it's just going for a super tank build this game. Treads into the drum.
Has DJ been stacking for Ohio? Like, how does he have 48 creep heals?
I think so, because he wasn't in the lane for a little bit, so yeah. DJ is probably stacking somewhat. Speaking of DJ, bit of trouble for him, but Burrow Strike's still on cooldown for 2 seconds time. He's going to be A-okay. Fnatic really prioritizing control over just this specific ramp over here in terms of having the vision. And I think it's worked wonders for them against the Sand King, just keeping tabs on any of his movements up towards top. Since this is definitely the much more common path, right, up to top lane instead of just coming straight through the lane the normal way. And he even comes up and puts down an Observer Ward, which is going to get very quickly dewarded.
I think Fnatic also realized that the lane that can only be killed is the top lane, as Pilot Die gets absolutely blown up here. Oh wait, alright, he dies to the flag. Alright, nice call sound usage, because, I mean, you made this gank happen as a carry, right? You might as well come here and take some CS, because you're not going to get too much done apart from that.
Poor Rubik just got jumped by DJ and Ohio in between the 2 towers down bottom, so they do manage to make some kind of a play, and looks like they're actually going to be the ones to take the tier 1 here. So the same rotation from both teams, but less commitment from Fnatic.
Abed solo smoke up top.
Yeah, Monkey King baiting a little bit here, but Envy just going to get burst struck and brought down. Now they're waiting for Pi to TP in. There's at the Grave Chill. DJ also on his way through, but now Abed gets the toss back into the Avalanche. Can they get burst damage? They won't be able to. The burst strike is not in time. That's 2 cores dead, and now the Sand King has a couple of wand charges. Trying to make his escape. The toss, not actually going to find the damage, as it looks like Sand King will be able to juke his way out of this one. And does TP back to the fountain, but they end up getting 2 core kills. They lose Envy, but they also get the tier 1 tower down bottom. So Fnatic once again with a little bit of an outmaneuver.
Fnatic is basically making almost the same rotation, but they're doing it with fewer heroes, and they're getting more results. I think just a sign of a better team.
I think they're just reading the map a little bit better. I guess maybe that's also the nature of their lineup, that they have more potential ways to lead something off with the Monkey King and the Tiny at the moment. And also Abed is just kind of flexing his early game lead, right? At this point, you'd expect the Queen of Pain to be making some Sonic Wave rotations. She's that kind of a hero where you want to be using the Sonic Wave as often as you can, because you don't really sit around and farm all that well when it really comes down to it. So Cop's playing the catch-up game, unfortunately.
Abed just roaming the jungle. All that illusion route, taking all of the rocket barrage. Nice toss back here, but I think they're going to get
Avalanche and now some trouble. Yeah, it looks like he is 100% dead. Ohio considers the situation for a second and then just runs away.
I think if he got the toss of Rubik, Rubik might have been had a little bit of issue there. I am surprised that he did leave the lane to kind of make a foray into the jungle, because I think he had like 1,400 gold before he died there. Maybe sitting back and farming that dagger would have been the way to go.
Envy, alright, lurking around here up top. They are going to have Ohio coming in as well. They're going to lay down the Monkey King ultimate Wukong's command. Going to do some work. They now get the entangle as well. Gyrocopter going to just TP himself out. He's going to be okay. Now Ohio and Envy need to make their escape. Looks like they should be able to. The lift away attempted, but they're out of there. Straight up to top.
DJ's coming right back in to actually get this kill, but there's a repel, and now DJ is going to go down.
Okay, little bit of feeding going on, potentially in the Radiant jungle. But Fnatic still with the overall lead. 12-minute rune coming up.
I mean, you call it feeding, but the way I see it is that they might have died there, but they don't give away anything. Like, they don't, like, for example, lose a tier 1 tower or something like that. In fact, it's Fnatic that is pressuring up top now, with Tiny finishing his Blink Dagger. And once Abed has the Blink Dagger, I think it's almost lights out for AGV.
Burster coming in, Underlord in some trouble. They're going to get the Grave Chill off. Highlight Eye just going to have to make a run for it. His birds will immediately be brought down. Ohio pretty tanky, but not tanky enough to survive a 5-man game. And down he goes. Alright, so AGV just kind of, I guess, feeling pretty pressured with their map control situation. Somewhat desperate to try and get this tier 1 tower down if they can, but I'm not even sure if they... looks like maybe Fnatic are just giving up on it. They want Abed to pick up his Blink. Also, side note, but are people's stashes kind of weird for you? I mean, they're quick buy. Like, if you click on Abed, is his quick buy super weird?
It's empty for me.
Well, I see like 3 empty spots, which are, I don't know.
I think it's just weird for you. It's fine for me.
Probably some strange bug. Alright, Ohio's still keen to defend this. Abed with a very short range blink forward. He looks like already scouted perhaps by this Radiant Observer Ward back behind, so... AGV, they came poking and prodding and they end up not really getting all that much. Envy lurking around at bottom. Who is going to find who here? Both position 4 players moving into position. Really good dire vision in the area, however.
They see the Sand King, and that's why I don't think they can make the go. I mean, if they make a go, this is a present. Feed.
Alright, Gyrocopter in some trouble. Now they come in with the snowball, punch him up. The damage not quite enough. He's very tanky with this build. And he's going to be able to turn it around. Now Eternal Envy looks like he'll also end up dropping.
Oh, there you go.
Nice little bait from AGV. And they will end up finding 2 kills as a result.
The funniest thing about that engagement is that Fnatic knew like how many heroes were in the fight, and normally pro players are very good at making that judgment. It's like, okay, we don't have enough for this kill, and then they just still went for it.
Oh, well, it looks like Omni Knight sticking around a little bit too long. Fnatic do manage to find some kind of revenge. And I think it's just a bit unexpected for the Omni there that the rest of the team would turn up and kill him after they just lost 2 heroes. But Fnatic were en route to apply some more pressure. Looks like DJ just going to be pushing out the mid lane somewhat at the moment. And then another engagement coming through. They are going to get some damage onto Ohio. Does he have the Dark Crypt? He actually does not at the moment. He might be in some trouble. They're going to send the birds forward if they can. He's going to try for the TP out. There's actually not enough disables. Tanking Burst Strike must have just been on cooldown at the end there. And they don't get anything while Fnatic have 2 heroes off farming the rest of the map.
Yep. Turn closing in on that Battle Fury. I guess we haven't really mentioned why Battle Fury is such a common and good item on Monkey King, but the short of it is that it's obviously a very good farming item. It helps your balance strike to do maximum damage during the mid game. And also, a lot of Monkey King farms a ton with the Primal Spring, kind of just jumping around, assassinating creeps, and that does take quite a bit of mana, so the Perseverance part of the Battle Fury is also very useful for farming purposes. I think a lot of the more farming-oriented carry players really love the Battle Fury. For example, CTY loves getting it on Monkey King quite a bit. Bottom side.
Yeah, Sand King, only 1100 gold worth of progress towards the Blink. The fact that they're starved on towers is really starting to show up in some of the item progression for these poor heroes on the AGV side. Balance check coming out, Envy not going to be jumping down, however, just kind of holding onto this top tower if they can a little bit longer, but maybe he's going to be brought down. Does manage to jump up onto the tree. He's got the spring to get himself out of there. Just wasting some time as they try and take out the tier 2 at bottom in exchange for the tier 1 up top. And I say try, but they're going to succeed here. Looks like Abed going to be picking this one up. Oh no, actually give it to Paladin.
I mean, we are seeing the weakness of the AGV lineup, whereas that if they don't really snowball from the laning stage, they really have no tower caping capabilities, right? Whereas if you look at Fnatic, the Firestorm is so good at kind of pushing the waves. You got the Visage Birds, chunking the tier 1 towers quite easily.
Yeah, and even just the tiny, some toss damage, the tree grab adding a little bit extra on top. Bob just working their way towards the Lincolns right now, which is, I don't know, the Lincolns is a little surprising to me, actually.
What is it blocking?
It's Grave Chill, Soul Assumption.
It doesn't block toss, right? Like that's actually the most important spell. If you get tossed, you die. That's pretty much the case in point. And yeah, I'm not sure about the Lincolns.
Yeah, like I guess the thing is it feels too early for a BKB, but at the same time, I don't think the Lincoln is going to do that much. I wouldn't mind a Hex, honestly. I think gone are the days of like the Hex Rush Quap, but there's a reason that it used to be popular. Could be alright this game. Just supplement their initiation a little bit, since it is only the Sand King pretty much this game. That's the one downside of picking a hero like Omni Knight in your off lane, right? If you're not snowballing and managing to keep things pushed forward, then you just don't really have very much catch, because it all comes down to your position 4 at that point. Fnatic kind of have the same thing going on, but they have the tiny, right? And he's gone for the initiation build with the Blink Dagger.
Yep. Their saving grace is that Rubik has been stealing the Firestorm, so
yep,
that will help you defend and farm. But I think Fnatic is okay playing just the farm game. They have better farming heroes, more of the map to farm, and they have easier catch, so when they see raiding heroes kind of farming in the jungle, they can pick them off with like Tiny, Tusk.
Their vision game has been exceptional as well. They've really maintained really good deep coverage. I mean, this tier 1 tower has been up on mid for ages for AGV. I mean, still standing now, but Fnatic have just been moving through around the side and kind of keeping full tabs on everything that's going on the mid lane that way. Higher getting chased a little bit here, but I don't think Gyro's really going to be able to do too much, and he's threatening the turnaround. He does actually have some heroes in the area, but Gyro's just going to head off upriver. In terms of their vision, they don't really see too much. They've even got a Tinker ward placed. Well, I guess it's a Monkey King ward this game, but I'm expecting Envy to continue playing bottom and shoving out bot and then farming their jungle, but they're going to be disappointed since Envy's actually just taking up residence on the dire side of the map, farming away with his battlefield.
It's also not a bad ward against like Tiny, right? Like just generally hides in the tree and look for free kills in the side lane. So that's a pipe pickup on Omni Knight, which is not an item you see too often, because to me this is kind of like, hey, the game is going pretty bad.
Oh, they tried to go on the Queen of Pain. Can they get this little turnaround? DJ gonna go for the TP out. Abe gets the blink away. They're not really gonna get punished. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's position 5 versus position 5, and Pylai just gonna chew through the Rubik, no problem whatsoever. The flat cannon shots will chase after the birds, but he's got the Gravekeeper's cloak, so they're gonna be A-okay. And just ends up being the Rubik death overall, and some more farm for Fnatic.
And one of the strengths of Visage as a support is that if you walk around warding and you find an enemy support, you probably just kill them with great chill and birds and soul assumption. So.
Top tower is under attack.
He's got the Solar Crest now, so... And Fnatic's Roshan is actually so strong between the Firestorm. Now they've got Solar as well, so... Probably take out this tier 1 tower on the mid lane and then look to secure that. Oh no, Rubik, he just TP'd it again. Firelight die. No mercy at all. He does get lifted. The cooldown's going to come in. They've also got the Queen of Pain jumping around. She's relatively low. Does need to tap that shrine. Heal back up the birds. Will they survive? They get back into the Gravekeeper cloak range, and they're going to be just fine against the Rocket Barrage. Meanwhile, up top, Omninet forced to pop his ultimate as Envy and DJ. In deep, DJ this time around does not have the TP to get himself out of here. The Sonic Wave looking to finish him up. Envy trying to block the vision just around the corner, but not going to end up happening. Can he make his escape? Looks like he's going to be just fine. Ohio's going to lay down the Firestorm. Is that going to be enough damage with the Boundless Strike? Threatened by Envy. He's trying to chase. Can he get the snipe is the question. No, another blink away. Now an epicenter getting laid out onto Pylai Die. Fnatic fighting on two different fronts. Sand King, Burrow Strike still on cooldown for another couple of seconds. Omni-Knight coming around the corner. He has healed back up. Looks like Py should finally be going down to get the toss into the pit, into the Boundless Strike. The chainstone from Fnatic. The stolen Boundless Strike now from Grims. But not really going to lead into anything. And Fnatic just running circles around poor AGV.
They fell for the Visage bait, the classic Max Graves Keeper cloak. I don't know.
Who needs Soul Assumption? He doesn't even have 4 points in Soul Assumption yet.
I mean, Cloak is definitely one of the first spells you max, if not the first spell you max. Makes him so tanky. Oh, look at that initiation though.
This is so sick, and they get the combo damage onto the Queen of Pain. Is it going to be enough? She's a little bit tanky, but still, that lockdown is insane. They even had the snowball ready to go, just in case.
How did that snowball come in so much later?
I don't know. I think he was he probably started it right as she died. And
I mean, Quap died for a good 2 seconds, and then DJ comes in. Hey guys.
What's up? Do you need some more stuns? Set up for another route, perhaps?
Top tower is under attack.
But once again, the Fnatic warding game continues to be ridiculous. They've got a really deep ward inside of the Radiant base. Sand King finally has that blink, but it feels like they're not even that far behind in terms of the net worth, but just their ability to take fights is not really there. They do have a BKB on the Gyrocopter, so maybe that helps the situation a bit, but Fnatic just are only taking fights on their terms because of the vision situation, right? They drag some heroes bot, then they know they have an opportunity top. They're just playing so well together.
They got an in-base ward, they got a ward right outside the mid lane as well. I mean, they see whoever that's like something in base.
And I think they even know that AGV have moved forward a little bit, and now they're hoping for the flank. They're dangling Ohio as bait. Envy with his Echo Saber picked up. 3k gold on top of that, but AGV have split up. 2 and 3. Who's going to get jumped on? They are moving forward. There's the ward up here. Can they fucking stop Sand King first? No, they are going to focus on the Queen of Pain. They've got the chain stun. Quap's already gone. Now the Gyrocopter comes in from behind, but what can he really accomplish? Epicenter attempted from the Sand King, but he's just going to get chain stunned as well. Nice 2-man burrow, but they're just running away from the Gyro. Pilot Eye going to be A-okay. Nice snowball dodging everything, even the homing missile. They've already lost 2 heroes, and now the Omni-Knight won't be let into his base. He gets sharded up, gets sent up into the air, and he'll be brought down. Rubik looks like he might be able to make his escape, but no, Boundless Strike. They're not going to let him go either. Nice familiar drops from Pylai Die to keep him locked in place, and Abed, not even done, wants to toss back. Can he get it before the homing missile connects? The blink cooling down. He really wants that toss back, but can they get it? he's playing with him. All right, Gyrocopter finally comes outside of the basket, and he'll be brought down. We saw the OKs from DJ at the start of the game. He's definitely feeling okay at this point. And Ohio being the objective gamer, pushing on mid. Alright, you willing to call this one at this point, Lumi?
I mean, I call this one maybe... Actually, when the Quap got solo killed by Abed, I knew this game was going pretty bad. Can we see one last hurrah? Let's go.
Let's see some combos. Jump in, burrow, only onto one. Envy waiting on the high ground. Has the Boundless Strike ready to go. I think he's just waiting out that repel, perhaps, or just take it from the view. Admiring the scenery. Abed also waiting for his perfect initiation opportunity. Envy maybe just even hands off keyboard at this point. Who even knows? Just seeing if his team can do it without him. Well, they know that he's up there. That scream did follow up. Nice 3-man burrow strike, but what is going to be the follow-up? They are going to pop the BKB on the gyrocopter as he charges forward, but they're just so tanky. They've got the mech, they've got pipe. Ohio's still healthy. Highlight still extremely healthy. The BKB wears out. Envy finally makes his approach into this fight. He just wanted the Wukong's command. He does get lifted up, might get bursted down in fact. Can he actually heal? No, Envy ends up dying. All that patience was for nothing. It looks like Abed taking some big damage. Almost brought down. He looks like just a little bit too tanky, and they will get that escape with the Underlord. So you asked for one last hurrah, and you got it. Envy perhaps suiciding somewhat in that fight. Kind of jumping in, didn't get the Wukong's command off, and just got bursted.
Envy being Envy.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. He decided to go for the Desolator instead of the BKB as well that he had queued up, which to me is like, oh, we've already won this game. Let's just end it a bit faster. Oh, Omni Knight getting jumped on. Do they have the chain stun? Can he even get off this repel? No opportunity whatsoever. Very nicely done from Fnatic. That was even without any bird stuns. Toss the Underlord up. Be in 5 seconds time, but will he be able to get it off? Also no. Tree to the back of the head, and he is dead. Queen of Pain doing her best to very quickly push out these lanes, but I would guess Fnatic either just heading in for another Rax push, or maybe grabbing the Roshan and then heading high ground. Guess depends on whether or not Envy can convince his team to get the Aegis for him.
I'll take your tribute.
They probably don't even need Aegis, but it literally free with Desolator and Solar Crest.
And Firestorm.
Yes,
but yeah. And they're just... Oh, AGV, I mean, they found a little bit of a second win. They're cutting some waves. They're doing like full Fnatic strats in this... Or full Envy strats, let's call it, right? Because it was C9 before. It's Fnatic now. We're behind. Let's just do everything that we can to drag the game and make some chaos. But Fnatic still feel very firmly in control. What do you think of this Spirit Vessel rush on DJ? I think there's... I thought maybe he'd get a blink, but...
I think it's because he's up against Omni, right? Wherever you're focusing, you throw a Vessel charge, Purification becomes pretty useless.
Yeah,
so I think it's just more of a game-specific kind of situation.
Yeah, and he's been doing pretty well with the Snowball, even without the blink. Seems pretty solid. Omni just working in a 4-staff. That Monkey King pick really kind of putting a spanner in the works for him. The ability to move the Tiny over to the mid lane and then still end up with a favorable matchup, I think was what really set things into motion for Fnatic this game, right? Like, there's no way that they should be able to pick the Tiny in the first phase, swap his lane, and get the mid last picked. You know, AGV clearly thought that, okay, the Queen of Pain is gonna manhandle this Tiny. We'll be fine with the lane advantage. It was not the case. It was not to be. There you go. We got that NV Aegis in hand, ready to go.
All right. Let's go, guys.
Yeah. Do you think AGV needs to try and take the fight outside of their base here? Do they? The chip from Fnatic is not that good, right? So you can probably just stay inside your base.
I don't see them gaining any kind of significant strategic advantage by flanking them outside. The backline is actually really hard to kill at this point for Fnatic because of Visage Cloak, and of course Tusk is hard to kill whenever he snowballs. So I think they're gonna try to hold their high ground for the longest possible, and maybe stealing Firestorm.
More snapping the Gyrocopter out of the base, but chain stunning as well. He does manage to get the BKB up, but it is very low commitment just to force the BKB, and Fnatic know exactly what their play was there. Just pop the BKB, back out. Now that it's down, maybe paves the way for them to make something happen. Queen of Pain does manage to split push out this tier 1 tower down at bottom, so a bit of gold. But Gyro just gets bursted by Abed. Blinking in on the mid lane. These D-wards from the supports on AGV have just not been there. Fnatic continue to have amazing vision inside of their base. And with no Gyrocopter, I don't know what they can really do. They're going to toss back onto this poor Rubik. Does manage to get a couple of spells off, but to no avail. He's brought down. Meanwhile, top tier 2 gets taken, so that paves the way for Fnatic to move even further in. They are going to buy back on the gyrocopter. One last hurrah. He has queued up a rapier in the quick buy. He's thinking big. They are going to jump in. They've got decent burst damage. Who can actually kill off? Envy drops low, but he's still got that Aegis in hand. Ohio, not quite so lucky. Looks like he will get put on the snowball, saving him just a little bit longer. Envy choosing to disengage for the time being, as Ohio actually not going to get first struck up. Does get saved by the Pit of Malice, but now Envy going to lay down the ultimate. The Wukong's man goes to work. He picks up an immediate double. Abed also waiting in the wings, ready to jump in with the burst damage. Fnatic completely biding their time, baiting them outside of the base, and then closing the door at the final hour.
So I've seen a lot of teams kind of counterpicking the Tiny by placing Queen of Pain in a game. Again, you need to dominate him in the laning stage, and even that, during the mid game, you're still in a lot of trouble. Monkey King blinking in. Ooh, good to get tossed back out into a punch. All the snowball save. Normally found diving is pretty BM, but that made it okay, I guess.
If you make it stylish, then it's all good. Okay, so very convincing from Fnatic in this game. Do you think maybe Tiny gets banned next game? Yeah.
bottom tower is under attack.
Dies all. Seed find a soul survivor. That's not a good thing. Little fire Jack. 40.
Yeah. I would call it an apple grab.
Well,
it started. Yeah, well, it started with the first blow. The chef in getting it.
Five seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Alright everyone, welcome back to PGL Bucharest
10
Major
seconds
2018
remaining.
SEA Qualifiers, Game 2 of Fnatic versus AGV, and as we
5
let ourselves in,
seconds remaining.
we're going to find Fnatic at a 1-game lead in this best of 3 series. Can AGV bring it back? That's what we're here to find out. I'm Baseskip, and joining me is Lumi once again.
Hello, thanks for having me. And looks like AGV still have not fixed it.
No, they didn't quite have time to. I think they're probably talking over the previous game.
Radiant team ban.
But we'll see. Alright, once again, going to stick to their guns, getting rid of this Tinker. Nightstalk going to be banned, so still the same kind of
Dire
overall
team
story. This time around, Fnatic are going to be over on the Radiant. We find AGV over on the Dire
Dire
with
team
the
ban.
first overall pick. So this time around, it is going to be Fnatic with last pick. See if that changes their
Radiant
drafting
team
structure
ban.
too much.
Dire team pick.
Yeah, I think that if they have something up their sleeve, this is definitely the situation to pull it out, right?
Ten seconds remaining.
So Rays are going to be banned out. I wonder if that's going to lead into
5
anything
seconds remaining.
specific for Fnatic, or if it's just something that a lot of the carries that NB does like to play, don't really play all that well against. In terms of position 4, which has been a little bit less contested this time around, I believe Earth Spirit was banned in the previous game, and this time around, so I could see that. Oh,
Radiant team pick.
oh.
Bounty hunter.
With the Bounty Hunter, I mean, we've seen I think a couple of teams doing this. I mean, it is something that I think it's something that Fnatic have played a little bit of as well.
10 seconds remaining.
Is it LGD who are playing the offlane Bounty
5
Hunter,
seconds remaining.
or someone in China is doing offlane Bounty Hunter? I don't know if they've done it recently, but that was a little bit ago. And Fnatic are like, ha. Yep, we're just gonna pick Tiny again, because we were not convinced that you had any way to deal with it last game, so why not? Yep. Force your
10
opponents to
seconds
respond,
remaining.
right? If you feel like they don't have any kind of answer to what you're doing, just keep doing it.
5 seconds
Eventually you get figured out,
Dire
maybe,
team pick.
down the line, but a pretty reliable way to go here, and they're going to be the ones taking the Omni this time around, so looking like quite strong lanes. AGV fire back with a Doom. Doom
Dire
Bounty,
team
pretty
ban.
annoying. Kind of put a lot of pressure on in the off lane. If you pick too weak of a support, they certainly have a lot of kill potential there. And I guess the Doom also potentially quite nice to have against the Omni, if you can find him, right? You gotta get in and Doom him before he has too much of an impact on the fight.
Well, laning might be a bit awkward. I guess Doom now is the designated off lane.
Yeah, I think so. I think the one thing that already
10
stands out
seconds
to me for
remaining.
AGV's lineup is that if they fall behind, they are just screwed.
5
Right.
seconds remaining.
Yeah. But Bounty Hunter not going to play very well from behind. Fnatic. I mean, it's not the most 5-man centric lineup just yet, but it could become a very 5-man heavy lineup. And I think that AGV's heroes, just in general, don't really deal that well with that kind of really aggressive, in-your-face tempo push. I'm picturing Fnatic maybe even picking up another sustain hero, like something like a Dazzle for their 5. And then they just have oodles of sustain. They basically have no cooldowns that they're relying on at all. And they can
Dire
just
team
kind of
ban.
5-man the whole game. So we'll see.
I think Rubik is also not a bad go-to.
Radiant
Like
team pick.
getting track, or if you get Doom, for example, that's
God
just
forbid you get doomed. Yeah, it's solid. And gotta get that
10
scorched earth
seconds
steel.
remaining.
Turn your aggressive null field on. Run some people down.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah. There's the stats. Okay, so Venge banned. It does seem like AGV are at least a little bit worried about some kind of something pushy coming their way, and Fnatic are banning out sort of split push / deep push stuff that might be a little bit more difficult for their lineup to catch. The Monkey King and the Timbersaw. So Bane now grabbed, gives them a little bit more lockdown, a bit of setup potentially for something coming down the pipeline, depending on what that's going to be. But that does make this a very good Rubik game. You were talking about it for Fnatic, but it's certainly a good hero to have against Omni, very good against Bane, and not even that bad against Tiny either. So I like this Rubik grab, but again, maybe a slightly greedier Rubik pick, kind of like we saw in the previous game, where they had a position 4 that needed to take up quite a bit of farm. Bounty Hunter maybe less so than Sand King, so maybe there'll be a little bit more room for the Rubik, but I don't really like seeing Rubik as a hard 5 all that much.
Ooh, this is a great Slaughter pickup here, and this is, I guess, the carries? No, it's a position 4 Slaughter. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Slaughter being very good here.
I wish
it still can, actually.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
He's secretly discounting it, but keeping the dream alive. Okay. So to me, it really looks like they're not that Tiny isn't great with repel and like working with amp damage, but I feel like Fnatic are really just missing that that hero that they're going to be enabling to no end, right? They're going to have some lane winning with the Bane. They're going to have the amp from the Slardar. They're going to have the repel from the Omni Knight. They've got some really good Roshan potential in there because of the Slardar. They just need that Eternal Envy right-click hero to make use of all of that. What exactly it's going to be, I'm not sure.
You asking me?
Yeah.
Don't really care about being tracked or doomed. You just stab.
Just right-click. Yeah, that's very true. What else? Could this be an NVTB, do you think? I mean, it's a last pick, so if AGV don't pick up enough AoE, maybe we see
So
like
Terrorblade is always a bit scary against the Doom. I mean, he's good against the Doom if you're being on the offensive, right? If you get off your Metamorphosis, if you get off the Manta and you split, and Doom just dies. At the same time, you get Doom, then you're in a lot of world's pain.
Yeah. What about Wraith King?
Oh, Wraith King is amazing, actually.
You down for some Wraith King? I'm down for some Wraith King. Yeah. Yeah, gives them some more disables. Quite good with the Slardar. Yeah, I'm digging the Wraith King pick, honestly. At this point, someone message Envy.
I would, but he has 18.
You just don't know which account he's on right now.
5 seconds remaining.
That's always the way. I saw people in chat mentioning that Abed's account doesn't have an active rank because it still has the thing where if you don't play enough, like 15 games in the last 30 days or something, you lose your actual rank. So you're just Divine 5 with no rank. But yeah. Yeah, or he's on some Smurf as well because he can't find a game on his main account. I would also believe that explanation.
Dire team banned.
But all right, Invoker being banned out, which maybe I don't know. Maybe that gives a little bit more credence to the. I don't know if that. I don't know. I don't know what the Invoker ban is actually. But I was about to say something about the Wraith King pick. But it could be all kinds of things. You could read into it however you want. Invoker's also...
The fact that if you look at the AGV lineup, they actually don't have that. Right? Like, it's Inferno Blade and what? Bashes?
And right-clicks, yeah, from Void.
And I think a secondary hero that could also give you that is Arc Warden, which...
10 seconds remaining.
Requires a lot other things going great. Like you need an Arc Warden player, you need the proper lanes and all that jazz. But Arc Warden is a hero that could dish out a ton of damage, but it's gonna be a Dragon Knight. So I mean, like if you look at AGV's lineup, there's really nothing wrong with it. It's all like decent hero. Dragon Knight final pick is Gonna give them a lot more disable and that tower pushing capability that you were pointing at that they don't have earlier. But to me, it's just like, who's actually dealing damage? Can you imagine if Fnatic picks Stusa here? She's never gonna die.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it's gonna be really difficult for them to be able to bring down Dusa. I guess the Dragon Knight is also okay here against the Slardar and the Tiny. He can build fairly tanky. The amp damage is not as scary for him. I mean, it still hurts him, but not going to be quite so troublesome. And that pick is going to be CK. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so it works pretty nicely with the Bane and the Slardar. Their safe lane now has tons of kill potential. The ability to burst down the Doom or the Void is definitely very nice, and I mean the AoE from AGV is not that amazing, right? I was kind of talking about it with the Terrorblade pick, but I feel like the CK kind of fulfills some of the same criteria and brings even more aggressive potential in the early game.
I think in this game, just looking at the different illusion hero, like you can even throw PL in the equation. Like Chaos Knight is the tankiest one by far, where even if he gets doomed, there's a very good chance he survives through the doom, especially with a little bit of help from Ohio. The big AoE is Dragon Knight. Like if Dragon Knight gets 18, or rather if Dragon Knight gets 20, then I can see AGV like kind of turn the tide around. And if you look at Fnatic's lineup, I think they're not really designed to go super late. I think this is one of those let's close out the game in 25-30 minutes kind of style. And seeing the way that Fnatic played their last game, I would be super surprised if they can't close out the game in a similar length of time.
Yeah, I ready to just really see the I don't know what Bounty Hunter is going to do now, because I feel like he's not going to have a super productive time like helping the off lane, helping the Doom, because I think they just die in that lane. But I also don't know if he helps mid all that well. I don't know if Dragon Knight is really a hero that one is going to benefit that much from the Bounty Hunter trying to zone in his lane, and he also doesn't really benefit that much from ganks, right? The Dragon Knight as a hero is very much, you plonk him in the lane, he gets the farm that he needs, he eventually takes a tier 1 tower. It's not flashy, it's not you know, he's not dominating a lane, he's just kind of doing his own thing, and it means the supports don't really have to help him that much. But in terms of where that leaves this Bounty Hunter's game plan, I do not know.
So in theory, you could actually kill the Tiny with Bounty and Dragon Knight. If Dragon Knight skills like stun at level 1, you get some very decent body blocking. It is a 0 armor hero, but if you look at Abed's item choice, he starts with Stout Shield and Ring of Protection. I think with that item inventory, like there's actually no way he dies to that. That's DJ trying to force out a jump from the Void.
Yeah, doesn't want to waste the precious Slithering Crush mana. Happy to just punch him down. Alright, Envy gonna come in, gets the bounty, okay with that. Meanwhile, Bounty Hunter does manage to snipe a bounty rune of his own. A little bit of harassment on Abed as he tries to make his way over towards the mid lane, but there is already some blocking going on from Pylai Dai, so it's not like he's gonna miss any of that advantage. One more swipe on Abed. He does use up another charge of the tree grab, but in the end, just a very slight block advantage to AGV as they have both their supports chilling around mid.
Alright, so interesting to see that Pi doesn't stay on the mid lane. Oh, by the way, this is like the best ward. I've first seen it from Puppey dropping it. Like, there's actually 0 chance that you get dewarded. Of course, you won't find their observer ward. You won't be able to make it across the river, but a lot of times Bounty Hunter players like to actually like kind of sit on this line and look for you. Yeah. So it's a very, very hard to deward sentry.
Yeah, I've seen the position of these sentries just like move further and further back against Bounty Hunter. I feel like at some point people were like putting it right on the hill, then people started putting it over here, and now it's migrated all the way back into the trees. Probably gonna cop some harassment here, but he's Bane. He's gonna be, I think he's gonna be okay. Yeah, just checks out the brain sap. Has been nerfed. Does hurt him a little bit there. Bit of damage getting chucked onto the Bounty Hunter. Envy also just manning up, right clicking through the Doom.
Jeez, look at
low
that
armor.
I mean,
getting chunked.
Low armor hero Doom just taking that full, you know.
Yeah, they have to be really careful because I feel like the one thing about CK as a hero is that he doesn't farm very quickly. I mean, they've helped his farming a little bit with the lifesteal on Chaos Strike, and you can kind of leave your armlet on while you're moving around and whatnot. But if he gets a good start, this hero just goes ballistic, right? If he starts killing you in lane and you feel like you just can't contest his CS at all, then things get really scary. It's a really important feature of these carries that have their own kind of setup, right? Like the CK or the Wraith King. You often feel like you just can't approach the wave at all. For other heroes, you know, sure. You never quite know if you're a little bit behind.
Yeah. It's a very kind of non-traditional carry style where if you think of the prototypical carry, it's one that could hit creeps and get, you know, 4 or 5 items and carry late. But this is definitely a, you know, instead of farming creeps, I farm hero kind of carry, which is pretty rare.
DJ managing to come over and grab the bounty, and Grim's actually in some trouble. DJ gonna keep on chasing. There's the lift. Throw him back. He's still sprinting after him. I think he just wants to force him all the way back to the tower. Might even consider using another crush here as he closes the gap just to do a bit more damage. Nope, just shepherding him all the way back to the tower. He says, you go all the way back. Yeah. Missed some value.
Yeah. That was just funny. I thought he was gonna punch him once or stun or something like that, but you know, just
gave him the move click. Just hey buddy, I see you. Go all the way back to the tower. Don't try and turn around and hit me, or I will hit you. But don't let him off with a warning this time. Across the board, Fnatic doing much better in terms of CS. Doom in a little bit of trouble, but Envy actually 0 points in Chaos Bolt at the moment. Just going for the Reality Rift. They're going to get the sleep. That's going to line up for another Reality Rift in a couple of seconds. They will manage to drag it off, but will that be enough? He's got the Thunderclap. That crit hurts bad, but Highlight Eye actually maybe now the one in a little bit of trouble as they are getting burned down. A few more right clicks. Envy can't really do anything. Does now lay in with some auto attacks of his own as the Bounty Hunter is actually pretty much completely Envy going to cut him off with the pass with the jump through. Now the Reality Rift. Oh! Finish him, Envy! Oh my god. He got it. First blood for Eternal Envy. Fnatic already with the 2k gold lead and just crushing all the lanes.
That almost looked a little sketchy for Envy.
I was there was a moment there where I thought maybe
it's fine.
Envy wasn't gonna get the kill. He just wanted to try and give it to Pi or something.
I do want to point out there's a little bit of different adjustment in terms of the skill build from Abed. Looks like he's actually leveling up on Trito. I guess he recognized he really can't. Oh, nice toss back and steals the regen rune. Okay, let's see. I think he recognized he can't really just kind of like harass down with toss like he did versus the clock. So there's no point in level up the toss. Instead, he goes for the true grab. Meanwhile, Ohio dies up top.
Yeah, just focus on your own farm, right? Because you're not going to drive the Dragon Knight out of the lane by just spamming spells, especially not a Dragon Knight with a bottle.
Yeah.
So, alright. So Bounty Hunter finally successful, kind of finds the one lane where I think there's a little bit of vulnerability for Fnatic, where they can come forward against the now level 4 CK. Envy 2 points up in the crit. Looks like he might actually be just
0-4-4?
skipping the Chaos Bolt entirely, maybe?
That seemed, I don't know. I guess against a Doom, you could just walk in and harass. Bruno Blade.
Yeah, let's have to back up a little bit. Getting rooted. He's actually taking some pretty big harassment. I think he's going to be A-OK, but still losing like more than half of his HP. This is where the Chaos Strike comes in. Gotta get those crits. Gotta heal back up.
Alright, there you go.
It is helping a bit. That's where you just enable your crit hacks and only crit. Abed doing very well in CS mid, like you pointed out earlier. He's got the nice trigger up coming up. They're gonna sleep up bottom, couple more hits. Now they get the drag back into the stun. Doom, couple more shots will take him out as Pilot Eye does end up securing the kill. And Bounty Hunter, all he can really do is just sit there and watch. Unfortunately, this Fnatic, I guess the thing about picking the Bounty Hunter so early is that Fnatic had a huge opportunity to just reinforce all of their lanes to the point where they're not really susceptible. And Pi keeps out-clicking E-Rice on all of these bounty runes. The last 2 times he's tried to contest it, he has not gotten it.
And then they're gonna come in.
Yeah. It's 2-man side, damage on the Doom. Best managed to scoot himself away. They get a hasted Pylai die. He's making his escape, but Eternal Envy might not be quite so lucky. He gets lifted back. The Dragon Knight does not have any mana. Does have some one charges to work with. Envy relying on a save from DJ, and it's not actually just a save. They have managed to bait in the Bounty Hunter. Another kill for Pylai die. Down Envy. Try to trade blows with the Dragon Knight, but he is quite tanky. Pi also throwing out a couple of cursory auto attacks here and there. They go for the reality rift. Envy is looking pretty crazy. Does get the crit to heal up a little bit now. Now he's Infernal Bladed. He uses the wand, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to survive Envy with a somewhat questionable play. Jumping in under that tower. Abed, meanwhile, just completely takes the mid-tier 1.
E-Rice going for a deny.
Nah.
But, of course, nice try.
Not against 140 damage. I don't know what you were saying about what happened bottom.
I think Envy, like, he looked at his wand charge, got 17, but really overestimated, or rather underestimated how many heroes were behind that tower. And got punished pretty hard there. To me, that was a pretty Bambo play, you know, like a high risk, low reward.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be inclined to agree. He has just popped his ultimate down. The first Phantasm used just to do a little bit of farming here. Cleans up some neutrals, gives the lane over to Pylai Die to get a pretty fast 6. I do like the Fnatic seem to be... Ooh.
That was really quick micro. As soon as it got hit, somebody was on point.
Yeah. Courier Shield, good to have it back. Bounty Hunter, get out.
I like the animation of the shield back in the Dota 1. You know, it's just like a nice clear bubble around the hero.
Oh, some bash down to Ohio. There's going to be a Chronosphere as well. Can they finish him off? A couple more right clicks. The Bounty Hunter also helping out. And that last touch is going to do it. I think even if he got that purification off, it might have been... Oh, DJ was actually on the way in.
Yeah.
So
that was a really good chrono.
Pretty close run thing. Yeah, very nice Chronosphere.
Bounty was able to hit from out. Then.
Abed wants to toss into the crush, into some right clicks, and that is going to be a very nice... Not lasting all that long. DJ going to fight as they get the toss all the way back into the Dragon Knight. Bardar looks like he might be the one dropped, but so long as Abed survives, I think this is working out okay. Avalanche is going to end up getting dodged. Abed 1v3, but he does have the Omni Knight coming in, and now that purification is going to mow down the Bounty Hunter. Dragon Knight trying to make his escape. Another toss forward. How's that purification cooldown looking? 1 more second. Does get Dragon Tailed. Ohio is going to be forced to use it just to save himself, but looks like he'll be brought down. A little bit of a dive too far, but still Fnatic drawing a ton of heroes over the top, and Envy, similar story to what happened before, is going to be picking up a tower for free. Maybe the Bounty Hunter can get the deny this time.
Oh, that was a deny. And then they glyphed. What's happening? Hard.
yeah.
Glyphing at the very last second.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Your teammates kind of pulling the mid laner around and then allowing your DK to just keep breathing on that tier 1 mid. But instead, we see, you know, the Dragon Knight rotating, and like you mentioned, really haven't gotten too much done.
And meanwhile, Ohio is just also taking over top. What is they found now? Poor Rubik. Gonna get crushed up. Right click down. I don't think they even need the course. He's gonna lob the tree at him. Yes, he will. Abed gonna grab the last of this. He does already have his Blink Dagger making its way out. Ohio are going to be working towards a drum. Lots of just early effective items for Fnatic as they continue to pick up the pace. A little TP out there from Doom. feeling threatened. Toss. Abed with the harassment. Does he have the damage? Dragon Knight's pretty tanky. He also has a drum of his own. Tiny. Getting out of these disables relatively quickly. Does have another toss back. Can they finish him off? DK is fast. They've now got the lift. Grim's closing the distance courtesy of that drum charge along with the track move speed, and Abed overextending just a little bit.
Yep, meanwhile, they were able to take down the Void up top. Good use of the Fiend's Grip. And of course, Purification for burst damage.
I mean, part of it is that they won the lane bottom super hard, but I feel like it is nice to see Fnatic giving Pi a little bit of priority in these games. Sure, it's partially because they have the wiggle room to do it, but always nice to see Pi having a little bit more of an impact as opposed to just being 0 and 20 and planting wards. Because he is certainly a good player, just doesn't always get the opportunity to show it off.
He used to show it off when he played Rubik and I guess Bounty Hunter, but now the Fibro is just not very glorious.
No, and he's certainly playing the 6 a lot of the time as well. Envy sitting right on top of this shrine is going to pop it now. Fairly tanky, difficult kill, but they do have 4 heroes rotating their way over. He pops the Phantasm now. Can they figure out which one the real one is? Looks like they've got the track on it. Can he get off the reality? Or Rubik might just die instantly. They do manage to get off the Doom. He doesn't have his armlet turned on, so it's not going to... Ohio awkwardly in the middle of all of this. The rest of the team now making their way over. DJ gonna miss completely with the crush. Looks like he will just get right click down potentially. No, Abed's arrived on the scene. Can he finish off the Void? Yes, he can. And now Pylai die also on the case. DJ with the crush. Looks like they should be able to bring down the Doom. A few more right clicks. Now the Fiend script getting laid down onto the Bounty Hunter. No. He dies in midair. And Rubik also not going to be able to find anything. He gets scouted out. He's got no TP. He's got a little bit of track move speed helping them out, but this 4-man gank onto the CK is going to end in disaster, as it looks like even Rubik will be chased down. 2 seconds on the blink cooldown. Tiny coming in. Is he just gonna like throw the tree at him? Don't use any mana. Oh, wait. The juke? They know he doesn't have a TP. He has to be in here right now, Abed.
No juke.
Abed gonna put 2 and 2 together.
Oh. Alright, that's some BM, guys.
Should have canceled his clarity. If you're Rubik, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you cancel that guy. After he threatens you and then doesn't actually finish you off, you're like, your clarity's donezo.
You fable him.
Yeah, it's just for the. Yeah, you gotta spite cast your spells, right? That's how. Oh, you didn't have any mana, but you gotta do everything you can, drag them down with you. That's how Dota is played. But alright, Abed, it's a nice little... This is a nice spawn for him, actually. Just combo this down quickly. Meanwhile, Pylai gonna go and grab that regen. It's opting for the max nightmare this game. I guess the Enfeeble is useful, but maybe not as useful this game as it is in some other situations, so...
I mean, it's so good at reducing damage, physical damage, and honestly, SGV don't have too much of it to begin with, so I feel like any point of Enfeeble he picks up will just be good.
Oh, they toss in the Slaughter. They get 2-man crush. They don't know about the Bounty Hunter just yet, but they will soon. Now they pop the Dust. Fiend's Grip immediately on the Void. Didn't even have the Chronosphere available. No counter initiation potential there. They will steal the Grip and end up trapping DJ underneath the tower. Nicely played by the Rubik. Very difficult if you're Bane to cover your Grip since you're just standing there channeling, so... Alright, bit of a turnaround. Not exactly an amazing trade, but it was at least a track kill, right? So that helps. A little bit extra gold flowing in. Envy's just been hitting creeps this whole time. Other than the time that he got ganked and died, that's pretty much been the story of his game. Feels like in a lot of ways he's just kind of playing as the insurance policy, right? If his team needs him, he'll be huge and be able to come and take over the game, but until such a time, I think Ohio and Abed are doing just fine by themselves. Pi is going to spot the Bounty Hunter coming forward here. Is that going to be enough to save him is the question. He's on the run. Can they close the gap? They're going to look for a lift or anything, but nope. Pi sitting on top of his sentry is going to save him. Oh, and now Abed just straight in. Wombo combo. Can he finish the bounty? Pick up a tree? Throw it at him maybe? No. We'll survive. Meanwhile, Dragon Knight just working on a Shadow Blade. A little bit of a... I guess just feeling like they need more initiation, but potentially a surprising pickup against the Slardar.
Is there
not always ideal.
Good passive that he could break? Not really, right?
No, not really.
I guess it's just kind of like a nice combination of an initiation item, but also one that helps you farm and you know, do a little bit more damage in the fight, because that is still my major concern. How much damage can AGV output in an actual fight against this lineup?
Yeah, I mean, you brought it up during the draft, right, and asked for mentioned the Invoker as a potential pick. So he definitely needs to do some damage this game. He can't just be the front line for the team. They are going to throw a Fiend Script out into the Tiny. It's not going to last that long, though. He will get lifted immediately afterwards. The lift also not going to last that long, but Rubik's got 3 stuns to bring to bear. And so they will be able to bring down Abed. That Fiend Script steal coming in big once again. And now down bottom, they're going to drop the Chronosphere out onto 2. They have lost the Doom. What can they actually find? Bane. He was repelled up, but still going to be chunked down. And now the Omni Knight in trouble. Okay. Track kills all over the place, and the double damage from the Dragon Knight coming in big.
Fnatic's not careful. Like, this track could just bring them back in the game. They're rushing.
I'm open somewhere. Alright, there you go. But yeah, they do have to be careful. The track is certainly something to be afraid of. And like you said, for Fnatic, their game plan is like win this game in 25-30 minutes, right? If it goes super late.
I mean,
it's not necessarily guaranteed.
It's not to say that they can't scale. In fact, all of these heroes are pretty decent late game. It's just that they won't... I don't think they will be as strong as AGV's hero in the late game. Especially just matched up against each other.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said as well, they made a kind of a conscious decision in the draft to pick the CK instead of like something like the Dusa that you mentioned, right? Which is also a pretty stable pick. I think would have worked quite well in this game. And if they just wanted to kind of grind it out, I feel like Fnatic could have been quite comfortable going for that. But they do get that Roshan. CK popping the Phantasm. You might be seeing a very dead Doom in a second. Now you see him. Now you don't. He's gone. DJ with the blink coming in big, and Envy now ready to start pushing the team forward. It looks like finally kind of coming online. It didn't take him that long. I mean, it's only been farming for the last 18 minutes, but ready to join the team.
It's because he has the Aegis. Once the Aegis times out, back to farming.
Yeah, it was like the previous game as well with the Monkey King, right? He got his Battle Fury, he went and hit the safest creeps on the map for a little while, and then once he got the Aegis, he was ready to kind of rock and roll. It's interesting how the style has changed for Fnatic, again, after the addition of Abed, right? When we were casting at the Major League, they still had Excalibur on the roster, and Envy was playing some weird stuff, like Batrider and whatnot to try and make space. We do get the dust on the Dragon Knight, but won't be able to find him with the Avalanche. And now it seems like Envy's back to kind of playing the hard farming role, and Abed's on the run around and do stuff, which seems to work pretty well for them. Got a quick pause coming in.
Here's the dangerous thing that AGV is at, right? Like, they don't have enough damage to kill the CK Illusion. If they lose a fight and the CK Illusion is alive, they lose tracks. Straight up.
Yep.
They need to... Here comes the flank. I really like this play. Fight them out the base. Yeah. Try to catch a Slardar with +1 in it.
Yeah, that is the ideal. They've also got a Shadow Blade on the Void. Going to be looking to lead in just a second. They've got the DK Ultimate pop. They're going to be looking for the initiation here. If they can find it, Highlight Dive. Taking some big damage. Abed diving in pretty deep. Not actually all that tanky. They are going to toss the Void away from him. Who can they actually find now? Ohio's getting tossed through. The Doom's gone out onto the Slardar. Envy just getting kited around in circles somewhat as they do now find that 2-man Chronosphere that you were talking about. The right-click damage is there, and these are going to be track kills galore. Abed trying to re-engage to help out Envy, but it looks like he'll just have to settle for the Rubik kill as Envy gets chain CC'd. The Aegis not really doing anything for him at the end of the day, and AGV just annihilates them. That wraparound was perfect.
Yeah. I definitely think that Fnatic was not expecting that. I think from their perspective is like, okay, we're gonna do a standard high ground pressure kind of situation. AGV is gonna stand behind their towers and twiddle their thumbs, but a very good call by AGV to come out and play. They were rewarded handsomely.
Yeah, the vision situation for Fnatic not as good there as you know, it was in the previous game. They didn't really see the rotation coming. And I think the big thing as well is that the Slardar was up here and the Tiny was down here, and they just couldn't find any way to link up and like immediately burst somebody down for counter initiation. The fact that the Void managed to, you know, avoid being caught was a really big deal. Alright, so Fnatic, I mean, back to the drawing board somewhat, but they know that the Chronosphere is on cooldown now for at least another minute, so they're just going to line up a smoke. They do have Ohio showing top to make this a little bit less suspicious, as the 3-man smoke rotation will make its way through over towards the wards. They don't just want the Rubik, they would love this Void if they could get it, but he's actually just waiting down on the low ground. The toss into the Avalanche, he's got the time walk, he's going to be okay. DJ still chasing, doesn't have a dust ready to be popped, as now the Dragon Knight going to start initiating onto Pylon Die. I don't think he's going to be able to survive. Actually, nice 2-man crush into the Brain Sap. They're also going to pop the Omni Knight ultimate just to try and save him. Eternal Envy jumping forward, will be able to start laying into the Dragon Knight. He's taking so much damage, he gets brought down. The Doom able to run away for dear life, but DJ still wants to continue the pursuit. Does he have a crush coming up soon? Yes, he does. Envy also hot on his tail. The reality is going to be there in a second, and he's just gone. Void forced to now jump all the way into the fountain, and a little bit reminiscent of the previous game with Fnatic diving very deep for some kills here. The tier 2 tower is still standing on mid.
Oh, they're going on the bounty. Reality Rip, that's a kill. Oh, the Chrono didn't hit! The Chrono's empty, it's only got an illusion, and now Void, he's silenced up. He's also dead. They're just killing them under their tier 4s. Triple kill for Envy. He had a bit of a lackluster fight with the Aegis, but there you go. Shortly after that, gets the team. A lot of that enabled by DJ, of course, but they clean him up.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So at this point, AGV, what? No chrono for 90. What do they have left? I guess if they need another good wraparound, good initiation. They do have initiation items in all 3 of their cores now, so they do have pretty good ways to lead off a fight, but they really need the bounty hunter to somehow scout for them for that to work out, right? You have to kind of see the lay of the land and then get the right initiations.
A soldier's fortune.
Because I guess what, the Doom kind of has to go out on the Omni or the Slardar, and then they can maybe chrono the CK or something like that. We'll see. Envy's tough to bring down at this point. He's got a BKB as well, so not just relying on the repel.
Meanwhile, Bounty is constantly scouring the enemy woods, hopefully looking for like a quarry to pass by or something like that, but little does he know, he is missing. He is dropping some deep wards, which honestly, I don't think he will be able to take advantage of those wards. I feel like this game is going to be played on the dire side of the map.
Yeah, I like that Fnatic aren't even really farming their own jungle, right? They're content to just kind of block AGV out of the dire jungle and keep all the lanes shoved at all times. I bet with the toss forward, blinking up to keep pace with the tree. Okay, so they're gonna, I mean, Dire team managed to take up a little bit of residence down on the bottom side of the map, but maybe that paves the way for Fnatic to pressure the high ground a little bit more. Or do you think they just wait for another Aegis here, and that's good?
I think they wait for another Aegis. They probably could go right now and take a lane racks, but there's no point to take anything risky.
And they're farming up some pretty important defensive items as well. The Tiny picking up a Lincoln Sphere, CK also queuing one up. His level 18 going to be very impactful as well in terms of finding that Phantasm level 3. I mean, we've already seen how much damage Envy can do with the number of evolutions that he already has. So it's only going to get scarier. Well, they are hoping for something down bottom. They want this Abed Tiny, but he's not risking anything. And Void team perhaps just a little bit too far away to really take advantage of that initiation, unfortunately for him. I guess what, they're also probably afraid of the shrine. They don't want mass TPs to the tier 2 and the shrine, and then the fight getting turned around on them. Highlight eye with the casual buckler. A bit of a puppy special.
Yeah, it's one of the most kind of gold to stat efficiency items, so.
Yeah.
Envy leading the charge for the team.
Yeah, he's going to be the first one up onto the high ground. The smoke's going to break. They know that the bounty hunter is here. They get the sentry ward down. Can they get the reality rift back? They will. Drags him out of the avalanche, but it doesn't matter. He just gets obliterated. There's a double damage waiting outside of Roche. The Void really wants this. He's going to be able to grab it up, but again, the problem is that his team just isn't with him. The Dragon Knight's getting driven away because he's already been amped up. DJ is going to get hit by the Dragon Tail. DK popping his ultimate as they will be able to charge the Chronosphere. It's a really nice chrono, but what is it actually going to end up doing is Eternal Envy now comes around the corner, shreds the Dragon Knight, looks towards the Void. Can they finish him off? He's got the time walk, manages to make it over towards the secret shop, but it's not far enough away. Dragged back into Eternal Envy's waiting arms, along with all the other CKs, and they tear his head clean off. Meanwhile, Ohio is just the fastest Omni Knight that I've ever seen with his Yule's drum. I feel like I haven't even really seen Ohio that much in this game. But damn, he's fast. Envy posting the Roshan timer in all chat. Alright. I'm sure that's not intentional, but anyway. Bounty Hunter joining the casual buckler club, but not by choice. He would love some Guardian Greaves. Looks like not going to be given that opportunity. Mid lane gets cleaned up. Shortly after that, Rax also going to be taken down, and with no Chronosphere up, even with the Void respawning, it's not really going to do anything. This AGV just watch their base crumbling around them.
No Doom either.
Yeah, it's hard. No DK ultimate. They've got those initiation items, but not really anything to do with the Void even. Just gonna come and pop the Mask of Madness to clear out the mid wave. That's how you know you're in a sad spot. They're just like, alright, let them have everything that they want. Hopefully we still have some kind of base left to defend once the Chronosphere is back up cooldown in 30 seconds time.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Lincoln's not so effective against the track, but still helpful, at least somewhat, I suppose, forcing the Bounty Hunter to just keep spamming it on the Tiny. Alright, where's that chrono? 7 seconds time. Void coming through, nice blink away from Abed. Sensing that the Spirit Vessel is a sign that they are going to be able to finish. The Doom not really going to get off anything. He's just waiting there, slept. Now the Dragon Knight, they do manage to get the Chronosphere out into a couple, but Omni Knight is very tanky. I don't know if this is going to be enough. Can he get his ultimate off? Not quite able to get the stun locked into submission. Now Abed able to tank through somewhat. Envy popping off the BKB. Doesn't have the Phantasm for another couple of seconds. Still laying in with the right click. Will be able to finish off the Void. Now the Bounty Hunter on the retreat. They do have the Doom in 3 seconds. Dragon Knight, he's already been amped up, and I think he's about to disappear into the horde of CK Illusions. The toss back. Abed setting up Eternal Envy for the Beyond Godlike triple kill. Fnatic just kind of taking all the style points that they want at this stage of the game. Omni Knight kind of dying for their sins as DJ now going toe-to-toe with Doom over in the river. Doesn't manage to get his blink up. Tries to TP out. Gets tossed. Does he get this kill on Abed? There is a shrine available. He's going to be okay, and one more swipe. Does in the Doom as Envy just finishes off the game over inside the base.
No card. GG.
Nope. Yeah, it's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess talking things over, but you can call GG and do that as well. Who knows? Maybe there's some weird time rating, but I hope hope there's no time rating situation in the qualifier rules. But there you go. Fnatic gonna take the win. Gonna take the series. GG called after all is said and done, and Fnatic really just looking like the better team. I think as far as I can tell. Oh, they're making some decent qualifier runs at the moment, but we still have to... Still remains to be seen what events they're going to be able to make it out of SCA. It is a pretty, I would say, a reasonably difficult region at the moment as far as...
Dire team ban.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Enchantress.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Red Rider!
Dire team pick.
Faceless Void.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Phantom Lancer.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Pain.
10 seconds remaining.